There are some books. No, too much reading. Let's engage. So many books. Basic manuals, arcanist, not anarchist, arcanist histories, novels. It's esoteric books. Some of them stand out to you as classics. It could be useful to refresh your mind. Read Autobiography Prax by Lord Phileas Prax. You take a look at the first page. In these pages I shall endeavor to recount the journey of a mind born to greatness, a will tempered by the crucible of ambition, and a spirit bound to the relentless pursuit of the arcane. My name is Phileas Prax. Arcane is one of the three pillars of magic. It is represented by the forces that make up all esoteric events. Those who play Jaws strings tap into these powers, programming the laws of the existence around their whims. Esoteric, the magic of Jaw and his strings. The coast is infused with it. It goes on to make grandiose statements on his personal abilities of magic. As always, this man is contradictory. He both praises his own natural gifts and mental abilities while stating himself worthy only through his hard work and merit. It's ridiculous. Know this, I write not for the masses, but for the few who possess the clarity of vision to see beyond the veil of mediocrity. To them I offer my life as a lesson and a legacy, that they might learn from my triumphs and avoid the pitfalls that lie in wait for the unwary. You remember the first chapters dealing with his youth, growing up in the ruthless court of the rival house, the Hagenshags. Hagenshags? Hagenshags? I'm gonna say Hagenshags. There is no voice acting. There is no way to know truly. I'll say Hagenshags. Or Hagens? No, wait. Actually, Hags would make sense. Hags. Yeah, Hags, I'll say. Now he struggles against relentless opposition and bullying, making himself out to be an underdog. The power is not born of blood, nor inherited by the fortune of birthright. It is cultivated in the crucible of the mind, refined by the fires of discipline, and sharpened by the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Let those who seek to rule first learn to kneel before the altar of wisdom, for it is there that true strength is forged. Yet he does not address his own privilege. If it is only merit, then he should not have needed any of those fancy private studies or lectures. Stop complaining. The story is just getting good. A glorious design. Let those who learn lead through merit of ability and nothing else. Let's flip through the pages. In the second half, Prax begins to talk about his early political career, the intricacies of majorcratic bureaucracy, how he learned to play the game well enough for himself to reach a dictatorship as the youngest majorcratic ruler ever. The rest is mostly a collection of meditations surrounding magic and power. The esoteric, in its purest form, is neither good nor evil. It is a tool, a force to be wielded by those with the intellect to do so. Yet, let us not be so naive as to think that power alone grants one the right to rule. The arcanist must also be a statesman, for the whims of the unchecked magic can lead even the wisest astray. Govern with an iron hand, but let that hand be guided by the principles of reason and justice. Thus shall the state prosper, and thus shall the legacy of the majorcracy endure. Ironic. In the halls of power, the arcane shall be our shield and our sword. Yet remember this, the arcanist's duty is not only to himself, but to the state and its people. For in the endless pursuit of knowledge, one must not forget the price of ignorance. A vigilant mind is the guardian of civilization, and a vigilant state the fortress of progress. Let no shadow fall upon our vigilance, for in the light of our knowledge lies the path to true dominion. The final parts of the biography focus on an ever deeper and more rambling side of ruling. with hints of paranoia. Let's shut the book. You shut it, looking upon the title once more. Autobiography Prax. Put the book back. Read Folktales by the Trill Sisters. Opening the Trill Sisters' books, the Trill Sisters' book shows you an index of several tales, many of which you heard growing up. Stories for children are useless. Do not waste time here. Out of the tales, you see the one you remember the most. The one about the gnome and the titan. This story always spoke to you, mostly because of the unlikely friendship between the two. Read A Little and the Large. In the old days, when dragons ruled and skies and titans wandered... when dragons ruled the skies and titans wandered the earth, there lived a gnome named Abacus, known far and wide as a half-wit. Whether by fate or folly, he often found himself in the oddest of places. And so it was that he stumbled into a deep valley of Asken. This valley was home to Ka-Ymor, the Mist Titan, a colossal being with fur as thick as the ancient forests and limbs that clutched the very mountains. His upper body was hidden in, or perhaps made of, the swirling mists that filled the valley. But on this day, the valley was not the serene refuge it had once been. The air was thick with ash, the rivers ran black, and the trees stood as charred husks. Eseth, the ancient red dragon, had set the forests aflame, hoping to drive Ka-Ymor from his domain and claim the fertile valley for himself. Ka-Ymor was furious, his great form trembling with rage as he searched for the source of the destruction. His eyes fell upon Abacus, who was wandering aimlessly, his tiny mind more puzzled by the sudden darkness than anything else. To think that the coast was filled with these beasts of jaw at one point. They reigned harshly and wildly. But it's not hard to see why some preferred their chaotic dominance over the tyranny of dragons. Continue to the verses. Thrick, Lum, Chum, who dares bring fire to where none should come? Ashes taint my sacred mist. Speak, small one, lest you be missed. Abacus looked up, squinting through the fog, and scratched his head. Fire? No, I've no fire to share. No flame do I bring, nor ash to bear. For in the dark I see clear as day. 'Tis those who can't that need the flame, they say. Thrick, Lum, Chum, what nonsense from your tongue does come? Who is it that needs this place, that blackens my mist and dims my days? Well, question thee who needs a flame to light their path and stoke their claim. Perhaps it is Ezuth, the king, whose fires to your valley bring. Thrick, Lum, Chum, the dragon's days are surely done. Guide me, gnome, to where he lies. Together we shall dim his skies. A wonderful little tale about the little and large. The story goes on to wax about the friendship sparked between this eldritch titan and the silly little gnome as they sought out Esoth on his throne. The ancient red dragon then falls to the titan's might after Abacus accidentally guides him to the correct location. One of those classic stories every child in Asken is told growing up. Let's close it. You shut it, looking upon the title once more. Okay, I'll quickly refill my tea, 1 second. Having to read all that much is kind of harsh on my throat, not gonna lie, but so far I'm really liking the writing of this game, so, you know, I'm willing to bear with it, as I am going to prove by reading the third book. Read Collected Chants of Norvik by Patriarch Pili. On the first page, a short message is hand-scribbled in the corner. My belief lay in the collected humanity of Norvik. May you remember that from this collection. With honor and grace, Pili D. Is this A handwritten message from the second patriarch himself? Protect this book with your life. This is a sacred artifact. Let's read the foreword. A dream of unity under earth. The book begins with a lengthy essay about the foundation of Norwegian cultural values. It's really like a guide, if anything, on what a Norwegian person is, how their values come from various tribes in the old country, and how together they have formed something greater under earth. You've read this before, but you do get a better sense of what this all means now. It is, in some ways, a plea, a stern suggestion for every human in Norway to lose any sense of former tribal identity, to embrace a new one, a Norwegian spirit, to give away the old and embrace the new. It is not a completely bad move. To unite a folk is to build commonality, to lower inequality, although, of course, there were many direct ways the state at the time made sure that the old did not remain in the shadows. Violence and oppression at times. The text directly explains how a new Norwegian culture will help the city grow and fight against inequity and injustice through unity, mainly by being generous and not hoarding wealth, among other things. Ha! A naive thought. Then finally it does touch upon the connection with dwarves as well, and how the Norwegian spirit is not contained within humans only. It is not just blood, it is sweat and tears as well. Those folk who unite with us will not be seen as an other. No, they too are Earth's folk. They too are Earth's guard. I suppose that's good, but I think the other shoe on this ideology is gonna drop pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna say a fairly neutral. That's a long ass foreword. Yeah, it's like 5 pages. Old man likes to ramble. Let's read Torna's lament. I went with you to foreign shores, my lord, my guard. I pray you keep from harm the beasts each. I pray you keep from harm the beasts, each shard a proof of your devotion. Thus I give myself to your folk. Well, that's Torna. I don't know how Torna would speak. I'm just gonna keep the voice for now. I give my life for a home at the river in that sliver of land, to vanquish the beasts who roam, the evil who lair, the fires that burn, to build a life along the river. Every shepherd knows the song. It bellows up the river. Earth lives in that sliver of land. It is your favorite. Let's close the book. You shuddered, looking upon the title once more. Let's place the book back on the shelf. You do so, it fits nicely back into its slot. This book does not deserve your toxic presence. You were stronger, more capable. If you were stronger, more capable, then perhaps you could have carried that weight. What? You really want the book. One day, it could be yours. This is very confusing. I'm just putting back the book. There's some issues with stealing going on here. Just ignore it. Let us forget this for now. The book stares at you from the shelf. Okay, let's leave him alone. There's another book. Okay, what's this one? Let's take a look. A thick tome lies upon the iron slab. Let's engage. You flip the tome open. There are fine and handwritten letters scattered across the pages. While the symbols appear to be readable, you do not understand the language. De verbis draconum, ars occulta. Okay. I had Latin in school. It's a long time ago. I wasn't particularly good. But that means of the draconic words? Maybe words? The occult arts. Or something like that. Something to that effect. Grammar was never my strong suit in Latin. Yeah, the draconic words, I would assume. The author's name appears to be Calum Diminori. Diminor. Anyone who uses this term for anything modern is either an anti-free strider or lives under a rock. Right, I need to learn. I need to get my hands on comprehended languages. Right, that is a spell used to keep prepared all the time. Find a spell scroll. Maybe you could buy it somewhere. It's fairly common. That's a failure, so maybe it's pretty hard to find. Who knows? I think this is just to retry the skill check, maybe, in case our intelligence gets better. No. Okay. You have no idea what this means. Okay, I could come back to this, maybe. Yeah, let's leave it alone for now. There's another tome over here. Let's see what this one says. What is that? Trifle? Ruined prayer book. -3 intelligence. Oh no! Oh no. The book is ruined. Most of the pages, while dry now, have been completely drenched. Only a few pages of the soggy, bracken-ish papyrus pages are readable. They appear to contain some type of undecipherable symbols. Someone has attempted to dry this to the best of their ability. No, no, no! By Earth. This is your prayer book. So many hours wasted. You would have to rebind the whole thing. It is ruined. That would be expensive. Let's get your hands on a new one instead. A chant book is able to sustain humidity, not underwater excursions. You should have protected Earth's chants more carefully. What a disgrace. You protected his words well enough. The book is still salvageable. That is no excuse. A true man would have done better. A true person would recognize when life is unfair and hold those below him in grace, not contempt. At least a good man would. Excuses. Repent by service. Go now, onward on your quest. I'll take the ruined prayer book, but I will... oh, I will not equip it. The tool of an arcane cleric. An instrument of the state used to handle rogue spellcasters. The cover indicates it is a spellbook, with hymns dedicated to the river, Torna, Earth's Passing, and the Reconquest. This one is yours. You've spent years perfecting it. Most pages are smudged. It feels terrible to even think about the knowledge lost. You need to get it rebound. Okay, yeah. It's -3 intelligence. At this point, my intelligence is terrible, right? I'm failing most skill checks. But I don't want to ruin even the last skill checks that I might succeed in. This is... And this one was what? What was the... Yeah, -1 intelligence. I could be the dumbest person out there. No, I think I can only equip one of those at once. And I'm gonna equip none of those. And this one is also not getting equipped because all my stats are rounded off. So that's gonna have to wait. Okay, this is this is, I think, rebinding the book. Phoenix Folio. After your river adventure, your old spellbook is ruined. Find a service provider who can rebind it for you. Fix your ruined spellbook, damn it. Okay. Will do, eventually. That was the wrong button. Okay. Now let's see. Let's zoom out a little bit more just to see if there's anything else we can see that we can interact with. I don't see anything for now. What is... I don't think I'm allowed to steal this, right? Human, no cause trouble. Okay, let's take a look at this person. Visken, local mortician. Ah, that's a... DC 5. Intelligence, behold. Can I roll this one? Can I roll any of these? Oh. Wonderful. Excellent stuff. It's not like my intelligence is good or anything, but of course my first natural one goes into that. Don't know shit about the guy. But I think that's a fun mechanic. Can I... And is it always intelligence behold? I need a break. Okay. Ah, well. I will not trifle, I will engage. I don't want to steal from him. My dex isn't that high. The pale man sits hunched over a stack of forms. Busy at work, his pencil slowly filling out line after line. On the top paper, you see an icon of a serpentine drake. That symbol, it's on a lot of official documents of the city. Thanks, intelligence. That is the Great Purge of Norwich. The Great Purge, the drake-like sea creature found along River Torna. Earth was known to tame these creatures, and eventually the Great Purge became the symbol of his great city. River Torna, again, the second longest documented river along the coast, splitting the band of Askani in half. Up and about, are we? Wonderful. Death. This is death. I am Visken, local entrepreneur and proprietor of this lich house. It appears you don't really belong here, but if there is anything I can do, cleric, just let me know. He smiles at you. Yet his eyes say something else. And his voice is familiar to you. Give me a second. Okay, let's look around the room first. Dimly lit and damp, a musky stench lingering in the air. You see books and flasks and stone altars around the circular chamber. There are several corpses present. Did you save my life? He puts down his pen. Your life is your own. You owe me nothing. However, I'm afraid to say you've been through quite the turmoil, cleric. Tell me everything. Of course, it must be confusing. To tell you the truth, some fishermen brought you here last night. They'd caught you in their net, took you for a corpse. Not that I blame them. You weren't exactly in prime condition. Fair. How did I end up in the river? Not a river, the river. I'm afraid I don't have much to tell. Perhaps you fell off one of the bridges on to Tolstad? I would never fall. It must have been an assassination attempt. I must have slipped. Happens all the time. Perhaps there is an esoteric explanation to all of this. I'll go with the third one. Perhaps you would know, cleric. Where are these fishermen? River guilders, I believe. They did not look like poachers, so my guess would be that. Find them. They hold the truth. Where can I find these fishermen? He ponders your questions. I did not ask for names. Sorry to say. But perhaps Waterlane? That's just a guess. Waterlane, the largest trade port in Norwich. Located in a massive tunnel piercing the center of Tolstad. It is a so-called marvel of dwarven engineering, and it's the reason so many people commute to Tolstad over the many bridges, considered as one of the great crafted wonders of the world. Either that or the local tavern. I hope you find them. So I am, in fact, alive? The pale man stops for a moment. He looks you up and down. Yes, I believe you are. I have some other questions, I think. Do you know? DC 31? Okay. I require assistance with some things. Of course, cleric. Anything for the city. I don't know where to go. Your shaky voice makes you sound positively Fort Vivlad? Complete and utter despair of flesh and bone. I don't mean to tell you what to do, cleric, but there's a certain rumor that our local goblin chieftain is waiting for you. Okay, goblin, short and green, got claws and fangs, little monsters. They've got 3 tribes in Norwich and are considered somewhat civilized. Goblin chieftain? Lady Miska Sageleaf is her name. She's down in the Goblin Garden. Goblins are green. DC 7 failure. My goodness. Of course, you've heard of her. Lady Sageleaf is quite famous. Oh, wait, that's my charisma, not the guy. Her name is spoken in both reverence and fear. Dragon of Tolstad added. They call her the Dragon of Tolstad. She sounds scary. She is. Treat her with respect, cleric. His eyes say, for your own good. Lady Sageleaf is a powerful ally. I would even go so far as call her de facto lawkeeper here on this island fortress. A sliver of genuine tone slips out. He has great respect for this dragon. Wait, this is part of the job? Talking with some petty goblin queen? You may find her at the southeast tip of Tolstad, the pale man says and keeps scribbling on his papers in front of you. So, what do you know about spellcasting? Quite a bit. He seems wary on the subject. My prayer book is ruined. Yes, I noticed. You should speak with Shen down on Waterlane. Down on Waterlane View, a bookbinder. It'll cost you, but he could fix it right up. As a cleric, you obviously only need your faith to cast spells, but I'm sure a spellbook won't hurt in the long run. Can you teach me magic? A slight smirk creeps onto his face. I sadly don't have time for a proper lecture at the moment. After the election I could make time, if you're interested. Beware, his tutelage holds great evil. Until then, you are free to browse my collection, he says, glancing at the many books along the western wall. And of course, here. Oh, a charm person. A copy of Charm Person. It will surely be useful to you. That's a great shortcut to charming people, although you gotta be careful with the fallout. If you care about such things. Can you explain the very basics of spellcasting? Oh? I mean, of course. He wonders if your head is still filled with water. As a wizard, you memorize your spells before casting them. As an arcane cleric, you must memorize your spells during prayer at a shrine. Where can I find more shrines? There's the Temple of Earth, of course. It's just up the stairs past the pillar. There's also one on Waterlane View, I believe, past the trade post. You'll find more, hidden around every corner, I can promise you that. How do I get more spells? 2 ways. You could spend time learning them, drafting pages out of the palace archives. The unofficial nickname for the current rulers of Norwich, named after the palace district in which most central authority resides. Or the Great Library in the towers, since you obviously would have some access to that. However, I don't believe you have time for either of those options. So I would suggest the other route. What's that? Spell scrolls? Alright, I saw one downstairs. Yes, a piece out of my collection. Oh. You are very much allowed to indulge, cleric. I'm glad to assist the city in any way. He puts them out for you. He put them out for you on purpose? Why? Now, Tolstad is filled with all kinds of strange caches, so you'll probably encounter more by just looking around. If you get your hands on a scroll, then just memorize it. Cantrips or spells, doesn't matter. I'm sure you're talented enough to memorize them on the spot. I am. Strike heroic pose? Sure, thanks. We'll see about that. Sure, thanks. He nods to you and goes back to his writing. That's all I have to ask about spellcasting. Very well. If you want to practice, feel free to cast anything non-lethal on my servant, Ost. Wow, that's evil. Treating a servant like that is despicable. I don't want to do that. In fact, it sounds quite awful. Fair enough. Just remember that spells are terribly useful when applied properly. You called me cleric, make air quotes. Yes, I did. What gave it away? He stops for a second and glares at you. The facade drops for but a moment. A heavily armored man in Earth Guard colors with a prayer book on his hip. They might have found you in the river, but you're clearly of city stock. Could be happenstance? Could it? Could. Happenstance, perchance. What does happenstance mean again? Happenstance, perchance. He puts down his pen and stares at you. How's that head of yours, cleric? A bit rattled is all. His calm expression does not change. Like a glass doll, the pale man is not real. Beware. I am the cleric. I am not a cleric, no way. Why do I have to be anything? I'll ask the existential question here. The pale man shrugs. I suppose labels are constricting. But we're all something, aren't we? I am the cleric. Good for you. You lean a little further into being a cleric. Gained 10 XP for choosing this class 2 times. Though I'd love to ask, what type of cleric are you? Type? Yes, if you are a clergyman, you might run a congregation for a local... if you're a clergyman, you might run a congregation for a local religion or deity. Holy man on a holy mission. Then there are clerics of the bureaucratic variety, city officials speaking for the religious state. You, however, must be an arcane cleric. No, I'm a basic clergyman. I am a boring bureaucrat, yes. No, I'm the chosen one. You are correct. I'm an arcane cleric. To be honest, that sounds the most interesting to me. I mean, yeah, we could go into chosen one delusions, but I would honestly rather save that for a second run if the game really resonates with me at the end. Like I did a second run of Disco Elysium where I played a fascist and capitalist, like, what was it? Superstar cop of the apocalypse. Maybe I'll do a second run of this where I go really against my my own impulses. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not making any promises yet. You are correct. I'm an arcane cleric. I figured as much when I saw your spell book. Or do you call it a prayer book? Either way, you clearly play Jaw's strings as much as you channel this divinity. Jaw's strings, the name of our realm, also the name of the legendary wizard who created it. He died during the closing, at the end of the Gate era. The first out of 5 eras. When Jaw crafted his realm and the gods fought to bring order, that was the Gate era. That's all the help I need, thanks. Great. Anything else you'd want to ask? There's a zombie in your basement. Oh, how quaint. No, an undead abomination right below. That's not an appropriate response. Sure, why is it there? Why is it there? We're closely connected with the city below. The undead seemingly wander as they please. The city below. Short for the city below the city, a phrase used to describe the incredible amount of tunnels and ruins below Norvik. Lots of monsters and stuff down there. Also riches, if you delve deep enough. However, I will have to take this up with Lady Sageleaf. I pay good crowns for HWBT protection. The Halfway Bridge tribe, commonly called the Halfways, one of the 3 goblin tribes in Norvik, and arguably the most influential, despite their small size, led by Lady Miska Sageleaf, with their headquarter in the Goblin Garden on Tolstad, the Halfways, short for HWBT, the Halfway Bridge tribe. He's lying through his fancy teeth. Wait, no, I don't actually believe you. What do you mean, cleric? You're a criminal harboring zombie workers. You need to be punished. Prepare to attack. The Zombie is clearly working for you. That is illegal. You're doing something weird here. I don't like it one bit. I will not prepare to attack. I don't have an offensive spell and I don't have a weapon equipped. I feel like that would be a bad idea. And maybe this... Is that a kobold? Maybe he would join in and just shoot me with a crossbow. I don't really want that. So, the zombie is clearly working for you. That is illegal. I greatly apologize for putting you in this situation. It is my neglect that led to this undead creature entering the tower. I will make sure to tighten up security in the future. No, this isn't... Ost, we'll do a clean sweep of the basement this evening. Get ready. The kobold, okay, kobold, that was correct, gives a screeched yell. Yes, master. I will also make sure to report this to both the HWBT and the militia. You're clearly doing something shady here, so of course. I'll be sure to ask for a thorough inspection by the PCG, the Pest Control Guild. If there is anything unbecoming about my business here, it shall be uncovered and unveiled. Holy shit, he just keeps going. Thank you very much for your service, cleric. It is because of great men like you that the city still stands. Oof. Make him shut up or resist his incredible oratory power. Oh wait, I'm sure a good word to your patriarch will assure a promotion of some kind as well. Especially with this great work you're doing on the tea shop. I'll try to resist his incredible oratory power. There we go. Focus on the main point. Legal zombie, go. Stop. I know what you're doing. The pale man opens his mouth to respond. The zombie did work on your, property. He closes his mouth and looks at you. It was picking up apples or something. Oh no, I'm gonna need my intelligence, don't I? That's a violation of the bone purge. Yes, I am aware. The pale man takes a deep breath. He reaches below into his desk and brings forth a pouch. An isolated incident. It will not be repeated. Gain an item, a bunch of crowns. He hands it to you. Crowns, of course, the Norwegian crown, the main coinage in Norway. This feels like a bribe. This isn't a bribe, is it? Crowns? Score. Crowns? As a city cleric, you obviously have the ability to accept Darkspotter on behalf of Norway. Dwarven for day fine. Some might call it legal extortion, but it really depends on the district. Violation of the Bone Purge Code. Article 4. In singular violation cases, a Darkspotter of minor class is issued. In relation to my status as a Tolstad business owner, that would be precisely 25 crowns. How does he know that? Well done. Justice has prevailed. Still 31 difficulty class? Okay. Maybe I'll figure it out later. Right now I would need a critical success. I'm not gonna bank on that. I mean, maybe if I increase my wisdom I can reattempt it. I don't know if this works the same way as some of the skills in Disco Elysium, but I'm going to go now. Before you do, make sure to collect all your belongings. He gives you a quick inspection with his dead eyes. Did I have any weapons on me? None, I'm afraid. They must be at the bottom of River Torna. Good. You do not need arms in this city. You need heart. What belongings? Quite a lot. Your uniform, your cloak, and also your voting card. A peculiar voting card. Every party had been marked on it. I am assuming it's yours? Very indecisive answer. Or, yeah, sorry, I'm indecisive. I'm not sure if it's mine. Maybe, possibly. The pale man ignores your comment. I asked to lay the surviving pages of your spellbook to dry over there, he says and points across the chamber. Ah, so that they could dry, since they were wet. How good. He then looks at the pocket watch on his desk. That is an esoteric pocket watch. You may have it, cleric. It will surely prove useful to you. Esoteric pocket. An area overtaken by esoteric magic. Exceedingly rare along the coast. The further inland you get, the more common they are, with the infinite wastes being theorized to be filled with nothing but. Esoteric magic, term for naturally occurring magic caused by the shape and form of Jaw's realm, sometimes called wild magic or Jaw's discord. Beyond that, you should be good. Got it. The pale man turns his face towards you and smiles. Unnatural. My guess so far is vampire, maybe? Vampire necromancer sort of deal? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll get the skill check low enough to actually be able to do it. If only every government employee were as devoted as you, cleric. He gives you a stern expression. Good luck on your quest. His words burn a hole in your heart. Leave, now. When exploring the city, you may move faster by running. To do so, either double-click or hold shift or the left trigger. Okay. Time to go. Is that the watch? A pocket watch. Yours? +1 intelligence. Advantage in esoteric events. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, let's take a look at that. I mean, +1 intelligence is not gonna save us at this point, but advantage in esoteric events sounds pretty useful. I don't know how often that's gonna come up, but this silver line timepiece never shows the correct time of day. It is always at least 10 hours out of alignment, no matter how anyone tries to correct it. At a touch, you can feel the faint magic pulsating within. The wielder gains a greater perception of esoteric happenings and occurrences within 200 feet. Can we equip that here? There we go. Oh, we even have it here. Does it change position depending on where we put it? No, it does not. Okay. So far, that seems like a, like an easy choice to make. That's right. We have Charm Person. I think we can only have 2 spells prepared, right? No, that's collected spells. The amount you can prepare is 2 plus your class level plus your intelligence modifier. I hope it doesn't. Does it subtract? Does my intelligence modifier of -2 subtract? So 2 plus your otherwise I could only have 1. Huh. Well, okay, we'll find out. But I think I can't equip that right now. We'll see. I'm sure we'll come by a shrine soon enough. That is 300 pieces. You've encountered a corpse in the Lich House. It seems fresh and ready for revivifying. Right, that's that. That's voting. That's Dragon of Tolstad. You're here on request of Lady Sageleaf, a Goblin Chieftain of Tolstad. Go see her right away. She's in the Goblin Garden at the southern tip of Tolstad. Okay. So far, so good. Wait, that's the journal. Okay. Let's zoom out again. I think I'll take a quick recording break. I'll be right back, or in the next episode, I would assume. Just need to kind of rest my voice and drink some more tea, and I'll be right back.